Ok, bonjour. Hop là. Ah. Tac. 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 Oh, ok. J'ai main un peu huileuse. Bon. J'ai prévu de faire... non, pas cet event-là, cet event-là. Avant toute chose. Eh ben, qu'est-ce qui se passe? Faut le temps que ça chauffe. J'ai mangé une crêpe juste avant et j'ai pas l'impression d'avoir été au milieu. Bon, j'ai cette team là parce que pour faire ça, ça va mieux. D'ailleurs, j'ai du succès. Ok, légende locale, cinéaste. Je sais même pas c'est quoi. Mais je l'ai fait. Rendre hommage au son de la cloche. Ça c'est dans la mer d'antan. Puis ça c'est ceux qui dansent. Et dans la mer d'antan j'ai bien avancé aussi. 92% oui. Et il me reste plus que le sanctuaire. Mais pour ça il me faut tous les hydroculus. Ouais, avec Raiden ça allait bien pour faire le... Pour les... la suite cryolienne, je crois que comme ça s'appelle. Full buff, je mettais des trous 120k à l'ulti. C'était cool. J'en tirais des barres d'HP énormes. Ici, ça donne plus de... Non. Ça donne plus de clés de sanctuaire. Il me reste plus beaucoup. Tac. D'ailleurs, bon, ici ça n'a pas bougé. Non, ça n'a pas bougé. Mais la mer d'antan, je suis à 93%. Je sais pas ce qui manque, mais... On va aller le chercher. Tac. Ah oui, du coup, bah, la suite ryolienne, là, je fais ça pour... farmer ça. Pour Navia. Parce que je sais pas trop comment dépenser mes récits en ce moment. Alors quand je sais pas, je fais ça. Oh, c'est l'élégance. Il m'en faut beaucoup de ça. J'ai le droit à 3 fois la récompense doublée. Je vais aller là. Ouais, il me faut beaucoup parchemin de l'élégance, parchemin de la lumière. Pierre de résonance. Oh, ça se fait comme ça? Oh, ça va. Je m'en sers pas de ces trucs là. Je sais que ça sert à des personnages, mais j'ai pas de perso qui se up avec ça. Ah non, c'est à la forge. Je vais aller voir si je peux le faire. Ouais, juste là, la forge. Je vais prendre la récompense d'expédition avant aussi. Hier, je me suis pas court. Du coup, j'ai tout à voir. Ouais. Ok. Fabriquer quelque chose. Détecteur de trésors hydro. Bah tiens, je peux le faire. Hop. Ça, je sais pas si je l'ai déjà fait. Non, posséder 0. Fiole à travers. Ah ouais, c'est pour faire des courants d'air. Il faut aller du roi. C'est long à crafter? Non. Bah voilà. Là, je suis niveau 25. Ça se termine quand ça? Dans 5 jours. Hop. Bon après j'ai pas fait les events qui donnent beaucoup. À Inazuma. Hop. Bon puis il faudrait que je farme aussi les Nobushi. Les spectres. Les spectres élémentaires. Qu'est-ce qu'il me faut d'autre? Les fleurs mensongères. J'ai plein de mobs à farm. Parce que pour Raiden, je crois que c'est les Nobushi. Ouais. Pour elle, c'est le truc de fontaine, mais je crois que j'en ai pas mal. Pour elle, je me suis pas encore intéressé. Oh, ça va, c'est ça. Mais c'est l'élégance qu'il me faut, donc il m'en faut pas mal. Lui, pareil, je me suis pas encore intéressé, c'est les fatui, j'en ai pas mal. Elle, c'est les cœurs spectrales. Elle, c'est les Nobushi. Elle, c'est les fleurs mensongères. Elle, c'est les fatui. Elle, c'est les cœurs spectrales. Lui, je m'en fous. Je m'en fous. Enfin, je m'en fous pour l'instant. Ningong, peut-être un jour je ferai. Bon, c'est les fois tuées, j'en ai eu. C'est quoi? C'est l'éphémère aussi? Non, prospérité. Et Yelan, c'est éphémère, c'est ça? Merde, elle est où? Elle est là. Non, c'est prospérité. Ah, du coup, j'en ai pas beaucoup. Et Navia, je sais pas c'est quoi. Qu'est-ce qu'il faut pour Navia, tiens? Bon, de toute façon, les aptitudes, c'est un des derniers trucs à up, quoi. Ah, c'est les perles et morceaux de cristal. Donc, de tous les mobs de fontaine, vous savez, les mobs passifs. Attendez, je vais vous montrer. Capture d'écran. Non. C'est ça, Kenshin Internet. Navia Build. Ces trucs-là. Donc les petites pierres géo, je pense. Enfin, j'espère que j'en ai assez. Ça, j'en ai pas assez. Ça, j'en ai assez. Ça, je dois en avoir assez. Et ça, j'en ai pas assez. 18, ça. Il en faut 6. Pas pour une aptitude. Ouais. Bon, ils ont pas refait sa fiche. Parce que maintenant, je pense qu'elle est bien avec Shiori. Enfin, que Shiori, c'est spécial. Techniquement, il faut qu'elle soit C2. Il faut un perso avec... comment ça s'appelle? Avec une création géo, là. Après, il faut, pas forcément. C'est juste pour avoir le double tamato et optimiser le DPS. Et me faire plus de dégâts. Merde.
Why do they never miss? Stop right there! Everybody stand back! Justice will prevail! Storm the front! Now you shall perish! Final warning! Let's light it up! Teamwork is dreamwork! Hands where I can see them! Torn to oblivion! Ha, there is no escape! Venture! Strike! Stop right there! Illusion shattered!
Bon, c'est pas fou avec ces persos là. Ah, le bonus x2, c'est qu'avec ça. Avec une résine, j'en avais assez, je suis bête. Bon, c'est pas grave. Je vais changer de team.
Shower me with praise. Let my name echo in.
Merde, j'ai pas eu.
Game's up. Time's over. All right. Take flight. Southward swirl. Ha! Ha! Ta! 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 Whirling snow. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. Dissipate. My apologies.
Hmm. Et Shuri... Je me rappelle plus, je crois que c'est les parchemins de la lumière qu'il faut.
Stand with me. Lightning strike. Strike a pose. Let the world come on.
Oh putain, ça cancel moi.
Here comes the catch. Take flight. Embrace the ice. Yeah. 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 Whirling snow.
Picked the wrong test subject.
Ok, c'est bon. Hop. Shuri. Aptitude. Ouais, c'est la lumière. Comme Raiden. Lui, c'est le de Sumeru. Ouais. Tiens, lui. Enseignement de l'or. Ok. Elle aussi, c'est l'or. 656. 512. 115. Hop. Bon, allez. 20 minutes que je suis en stream, j'ai toujours pas encore fait ça. C'est ça le nouvel cas de Cyno. Ah ouais, je suis tombé dessus le dernier coup. J'ai fait l'arbre enflammé pour avoir des pierres de feu là, pour pouvoir finir de up Bennett. Mais je l'ai vu en plein milieu du passage, je dis qu'est-ce qu'il faut lui. Puis après j'ai pensé, je me dis ah je crois que c'est la nouvelle quête.
Come with me. Let us find shelter from the rain.
Et qu'est-ce que je fous là? Je me suis trompé de point de TP.
There's a pleasant breeze and glorious sunshine.
Donc il y avait de l'orage là-bas mais
Where
pas
shall we
ici.
go for a walk? Yeah! Busted. Yoo-hoo! Take flight.
suis Roger, je suis chef et je fais de la cuisine. Un gars de Natlan, donc c'est comme ça que les PNJ de Natlan sont habillés. Ouais. Ah, il n'est pas originaire d'Atlan. On tente.
Quietly now. Things are about to get... Let my name echo in song! Whirling snow, Kami-san's art. Sometsu! So rude! Dissipate! Out of my way! Busted! Here comes the catch! Shower me with the... My apologies! Gotcha! Let the world collide!
Hey, talkie?
Embrace the ice! Busted! Game's up! Fun's over. Sorry for the trouble.
Merde.
Am I free?
Bon. Oh, j'ai un truc comme ça, j'avais pas vu.
Time to shine.
Things are about to get dicey.
Take flight. Sakura swirl.
Gutsy.
J'étais éjecté. Évaluation d'argent, donc. Oh, hors 2 étoiles. Oh, mais en fin de compte, ça sert à rien, ça donne pas de primo. Moi, je veux juste les primos. Géosaure, ça va être chaud. Mais j'ai pas de perso avec des boucliers. Oh chier. Normalement, je peux changer de formation d'équipe.
Out of my way. Don't be scared.
Gotcha. Here comes the catch.
My apologies. The night is cold, cold. Matsu. Kamisato out. Sometsu. Yeah. Take flight.
Quietly now.
Dissipate. My guiding stars. The night is cold.
Ok. Elle est quand même balèze le bouclier de Layla, faut pas croire. Et encore, elle est pas bien build. Je vais essayer de bien la build. Wesh. Une quête d'histoire, je crois, faut compter à peu près de 2 heures. Déclencher 10 réactions élémentaires. Ah bah ça y est.
Gotcha. Things are about to get dicey.
My apologies. Yeah. Ha!
15 secondes. Oh, l'hippocampe par contre. Je vais checker un truc vite fait. Ouais, regarde.
A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. So this is a day in the life of the traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time.
Hop là. On a mis du bois dans le feu. 28 mai, on est pas obligé de faire du feu, il fait froid. Puis on a une grande maison avec des plafonds hauts, alors puis les fenêtres laissent passer l'air. Du coup ça rafraîchit vite. Oh, détruire la perle, c'est trop chiant. Comment je vais faire? Eh ben je vais prier pour que la compétence sur T là, elle détruise la perle.
The bond is strong. Out of my way. Let my name echo in song. Whirling snap.
Here comes the catch. Busted.
No. My apologies. Embrace the ice.
Et je vais le buter avant de... Oh, fait chier. Je l'ai buté avant de... péter la perle. Oh bah j'ai quand même eu mes primos. Bon allez. Pour moi c'est bon. Tac, à Fontaine. En ce moment, Fontaine, c'est vraiment l'endroit où je passe le plus de temps. Avant que Fontaine arrive, c'était plus Inazuma que je passais.
Add Astra.
Inazuma Livu.
Thank you for completing.
Et là, c'est mon stat. Enfin, mon stat, le Fontaine à fond. Alors. J. Quête d'histoire. Tac. Accepter. Suivre. Téléportation.
Whoa, the academia sure is busy during the day. But where should we go looking for people that we know?
Traveler, Paimon.
Cyno! It's been so long since we last saw you!
As do you. You don't seem wary at all from your travels. If anything, you seem stronger. So, what brings you back here?
Oh, nothing in particular. Paimon just saw a really big mushroom out on the road the other day and suddenly missed all our friends in Smeru.
Funnily enough, we were reminiscing about you recently too. It was at a group dinner. I look forward to hearing about your travels. Something tells me we must have a lot to catch up.
Really? You were thinking of us too? What?
Indeed. Or as I call it, the... You really want me to say the rest? Okay. It's always rice to meet stew again.
Oh, darn, he said it.
You like that one, huh? You must if you remember it after all this time. Admit the truth. You have long been in awe of my razor-sharp wit.
All right. Here's your 500 Mora. Paimon's never making a bet again. Paimon really thought Cyno would be able to hold back on the jokes. They say people can change, but maybe that's...
Ah, so this was technically my fault. In that case, I'll treat you to some sweets later. Anyway, I'm actually investigating a case right now. My mind is focused on work, which is why I didn't...
A case? What happened?
Nothing major. But after finding out who was involved, I decided, on reflection, to handle this one myself.
Need any help? We only came here to hang out, so we've got the time. You may as well take us with you, and then when you're done, we can, you know...
Such enthusiasm. Are you worried I'll forget about treating you to some sweets if you're not around?
What? No! All right, wasn't it...
Obvious enough. Still, it's a fine idea. You are the hero. All right, follow me.
Alright.
Do you see him? The old man flailing around?
Oh, is he the one you wanted to talk to about the case?
Correct. His name is Cyrus, a former Spontamot sage. He taught both me and Lisa.
Huh? Cyno's teacher is in trouble?
It's ridiculous. I'm just an old man who enjoys a spot of gardening, shopping, and wine. What sort of person targets an old retiree?
Professor, I've brought some friends.
Ah, Cyno. Now who do we have here? Hold on, let me think. A flying... My goodness. You must be the legendary traveler in Paimon. I've heard all about what you've done for Sumeru.
Wow, looks like we're really...
I've told him about you before. You are my friends, after all. That's right. Let me summarize the situation. A couple of days ago, Professor Cyrus suddenly received a threat letter.
A threat letter?
Exactly. Who sends a threat letter to an old man like me, for goodness?
This is the letter in question.
Cyrus, I have uncovered your secret. If you wish to prevent it from going public, leave 10 million mora at the back door of the cafe. Secondly, don't come looking for me. You'll never find me. But I will always be watching you and all of your secrets. Finally, if you dare to report this to the Matra, there will be Wow, they sure didn't mince their words.
Clearly, this person must be desperate for mora.
10 million more. What a joke. I'm just a single retiree with nothing to my name beyond the tomatoes in my garden. Where do people think I'm hiding 10 million more, huh?
There were no witnesses, so currently the letter is all we've got. So, Traveler, Paimon?
Paimon's ready too.
All right, take a look. Do you see any? Yes. Some of the strokes are blurry.
So is there something wrong with the ink?
Possibly. And I bet the paper has something to do with it.
Most of the paper around here is much smoother than this, and the ink is absorbed quickly so it doesn't run. This paper, meanwhile, it's very coarse-grained. Almost as if it's made from some sort of...
It's certainly not the same paper as we use in the academia, but the ink is nothing special. Just regular black ink that gets a blue tinge when applied to paper.
So do we think the culprit has a connection with the academia or not? Wait, check this out. Looks like this part got wet at some...
Agreed. The staining suggests it was a colored liquid, not plain water. It also looks like it was...
A colored liquid, so...
Looks like we're thinking along similar lines. Let's go talk to Arof. There are some...
Le matra arabe.
Ah, there he is.
Mahamatra Cyno. Sir Cyrus. Ah, and the Traveler and Paimon.
As such, I'm inclined to believe that the culprit in this case is a student at the academia. Somebody young. Oh, one last thing. I'd start your investigation.
Oh, of course! You think the culprit spilled their coffee on the letter, huh?
They do look like coffee stains. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the letter is written on a type of scented paper that has aromatics added during the manufacturing process. The kind often provided as writing material for customers in...
Ah, of course. Yes, like they sell in the gift shops. I remember now. Zaha Hadid bought some a while back. She said she was going to use it as wrapping paper for a vase.
Understood. I'll assemble a team to investigate the points of interest.
You have my gratitude.
One last thing. Send some Matra to guard the entrances and exits of Sumeru City. And change into plain clothes. Don't let them see you.
Will do.
Great thinking, Cyno. So, where do we think the culprit's at, right? Yeah, they've probably been lying low at home waiting to see how Cyrus...
You're right, Paimon.
Really?
The culprits approach. Whatever happens, they need this Mora. But just because they warned Professor Cyrus not to go to the Matra, doesn't mean they know what he'll do next. So, like you said, and crucially, the culprits said they'd be watching the professor's every move.
Huh? Wait, are you saying...
Found you!
doing?
You wrote the threat letter.
I don't know what you're talking about. What threat letter?
I sensed someone was watching us from the shadows the moment we entered the House of Dana. You managed to stay relatively well hidden for someone reckless enough to threaten Professor Cyrus. There are a lot of people here, but we were looking specifically for Arav. Whoever followed us the whole way was likely to be the culprit.
I was just listening in, that's all. You know something big's going down when Mahamatra Cyno shows up, right? So,
You smiled when Arav left. I saw it as clear as...
Is smiling a crime now?
There are coffee stains on the letter. You mixed some coffee with water, gently smeared it onto the paper, then wiped it off with a wet cloth. All to create the impression that the letter was written at a cafe. Closing off the exits to the city doesn't affect you, because you already live here. And as long as the Matra were focused on the cafes, you would be free from The cafe was a red herring all along. You had to be somewhere where you could monitor the
You can't pin this on me! I haven't done anything!
Really? Then why are you shaking like a leaf? The innocent have no reason to fear the Matra. Your heart's racing, and your eyelids are twitching. You're a terrible...
I would never...
Don't try anything or you'll pay the price. Now come with me.
Well, that was over.
You're telling me. One minute I go out for a quick smoke, the next minute I see Arav already on his way back to meet... looked like a young guy, too. Couldn't have been much more than 30. But after what he's done, I'm afraid he's ruined his...
Everyone, it's all over.
Gosh, that was so...
The culprit's name is Uraka, a 16-year-old student in the Rataoist...
Huh?
16? Cyrus thought he looked 30-something!
We checked his records. He's 16, a third-year student.
But he looks so old.
Yeah, seriously.
Foolish child. He's too young for the criminal life. What the devil drove...
We question the culprit regarding his motive.
Oh, just spit it out. Nothing can surprise me at...
Very well. It's our understanding that Araka is a mediocre student who has been underperforming in his classes. He started taking extra tutoring to improve his grades, but developed a gambling habit around the same time and lost a lot of mora. Down on his luck, he went to the tavern for a drink and overheard some people chatting about Sir Cyrus's comfortable retirement. They mentioned that he's always arguing about his tomato plants with some old woman on the street.
Some old woman on the street? Goodness gracious. Has that rascal attended a single one of his classes? That old woman is Kasharwar's very own...
Is this going somewhere?
Oh, right, yes. So another thing. We don't just argue about tomato plants. What are they trying to insinuate by comfortable retirement? A man grows a few vegetables and suddenly he's living a life of...
Maybe it's more the fact that you have the time to grow vegetables in the first place.
Araka mentioned he'd heard a rumor, alleging that Sir Cyrus illegally obtained a large sum of money from the desert before retiring, and kept it for himself instead of reporting it to the academia. Araka believes this money to be the reason why Sir Cyrus hasn't kept up with any academic research or other projects since his retirement. And given your advanced age, he thought you'd be an easy target to blackmail.
Oh, Araka. I'm at a loss for words. I'm so angry I don't know where to...
People make up rumors all the time. I am quite confident that Professor Cyrus has never...
Arav, you'll have to find some excuse to interrogate Araka again later. I need you to...
I completely understand how you feel, Sir Cyrus, but I'm afraid that...
Professor, there's no need to be childish about this.
Oh, come on. I was clearly joking.
Okay.
The academia will determine the appropriate disciplinary action against the student. And as for the individuals spreading rumors about the professor's obsession with tomatoes and some old woman on the street, there could be a slander case here. The Matra will
Who said I'm obsessed with some old woman on the street? Mind your wording or you'll start a whole new rumor. You seem confused. Oh, Don't you Uraka is just a young boy who made a very rash and very stupid decision based on some groundless rumor he heard. Besides, I
Dépassé
didn't
bizarre un
actually
peu.
hand over any Mora to him. The whole thing sounds a lot worse than it is. All it costs me is a little reputational damage. That's all.
Please rest assured, Professor, that the Academia will issue a fair and reasonable
Yes, I have no doubt about that. But as a former educator, I'd still like to have a serious conversation with the boy's parents. The family lives in this.
Correct.
We looked into the family. Both parents are merchants and they're often away on business. They've never taken much of an active role in...
Oh, what a mess. You don't have to seal the evidence away yet, do you? I'd like to have that letter back for the time being, if possible. I need something concrete for when I talk to the family tonight. We have to show them how serious this situation is.
The relevant authorities have already reviewed the evidence and are now discussing Uraka's punishment. You can hold on to the letter for now. Just make sure to return it within a couple of days.
Oh, so you'll be able to close the case in 2 days?
Give or take. Cases like this are quick to resolve.
Very good. Well, thank you for all your help.
My apologies, Sir Cyrus, but I have a prior commitment. Enjoy the meal, everyone.
Ah, I see. Well, that's a pity. But Cyno, you have to come. You found the culprit at records. Ah, and isn't Tighnari in town at the moment?
Wait, you mean Tighnari's in this?
He is. Tighnari's master, Sir Nephis, called him and Kale to the Academia to help out on a project. They should be at Nephis's office at this hour. Though I must say, I'm surprised you're extending an invitation to Tighnari. Did you do something to offend Sir?
Don't be outrageous. Nephis offends me all the time. Anyway, hurry up and fetch Tighnari. I'll head over to the tavern with the Traveler and Paimon. See you there. Go on now.
C'est où la sortie? C'est là. Oh fuck. Ok, c'est bon. Hop là.
Not to brag, but we never had problems like this at Ratawa His back when I was still teaching. And if you don't want to take my word for it, you can ask them. They were students at the time. They'll tell you what it was like, won't they?
I was out in the forest at least 4 days a week back then, thanks to a colossal workload from Master. It wrought havoc on my poor tail, so I didn't exactly keep up to date with what was going on at the Academia. Most of what I know, I heard from Cyno after the fact.
Professor's become a lot more laid back in his retirement. He used to be far stricter, and was especially known for being extremely...
Wow. It's hard enough to stay true to your principles as a normal person. I can't imagine doing that as a sage.
It's a pity Kale wasn't around at the time. I would have happily taken her on as a student.
And then we'd have one more person who has to address Lisa as upper-class woman.
Really? Can't you just call her Lisa? She seems to prefer it when people treat her like an older sister.
Oh, believe me, back when she was a student, nothing made her happier than the younger students acknowledging her seniority.
Whoa, more food? Are you sure sure about this? We don't want to take advantage.
Oh, don't worry about it. Order whatever you like. And if it's not enough, order some more. After all your help today, treating you to dinner is the...
I thought I heard some familiar voices. Ah, and Sir Cyrus is here as well.
Oh, Kaveh, it's been a while. Zahahadi was talking about you last month. How have you been?
I've been all right, thank you. You're looking very well, sir. I'm glad to see it.
Have you eaten yet? Care to join?
That's awfully kind of you, but I had a late lunch, so I'm not really hungry just yet. I'll have dinner at I just came to Lombard's to buy some wine, and when I heard some voices I recognized, I thought... So what's the occasion, anyway?
Consolation, more like. You wouldn't believe the day I've had.
Sounds like things have really gone downhill since I was there. My whole time as a student, I've never heard of anything remotely like that.
I can't believe how young the guy is. Oh, what are his parents going to...
Young people are always more susceptible to making rash and ill-advised decisions. Their minds are still... But still, this boy has some nerve. Just look at what he wrote. Oh, it makes my blood boil.
Wow, yeah. Jeez.
I will always be watching you and all of your secrets. And...
If this were my son, oh, he'd get the...
Luckily, I'm also an extremely principled person.
Kaveh! Your order's ready, sir!
Coming. I'll have to get going.
Okay, bye-bye!
Here I am. The coffee beans are in here too?
Yep, it's all there. I'll stop babbling away now. Let's eat before the food gets cold.
Oh, too tasty.
Oh, mine too. I'll have to walk home to burn some of it.
Thanks for dinner, Sir Cyrus. Master Tainari and I will bring you some homemade herbal tea next time. It'll do wonders for your sleep.
Well, I look forward to that. In fact, could I trouble you to bring a little extra for the other old folks on my street? I'll be...
No problem at all. I'll pack some up and bring it over.
I'll see you all later. I better head home now and tend to the crops.
Good night, Professor. Don't let those tomatoes keep you up too late.
Hey, my tomatoes are serious business. Anyway, I'll be leaving now. Don't stay up too late now, children. I bid...
Take care. Have a safe trip home.
All right. Now, we finally have some us.
What do you mean, us time?
Well, I was talking with Tainari and Kale, and since we all have some free time, we thought we could all go camping together.
Camping? Oh, that sounds fun. Paimon's in! Right? It's been so long since we did something fun together.
Everyone, let's meet tomorrow afternoon at the riverbank to the south. No need to bring anything. We've already packed everything for the trip. Just...
You got it! We'll be there!
Great. Then we'll see.
Ok. Donc on va camper.
Time to set off! Let's head to the south!
I'd say we're right about on schedule, actually. We were aiming to have them set up before you arrived.
Traveler, Paimon, let's go fishing together. Whatever we catch, we can grill. You got it! Dinner's on us tonight! I hope I can contribute too. The other Forest Watchers gave me some fishing tips a little while ago. I'm really
I saw some very appetizing mushrooms in the area, so I gathered a few for us. I'll leave them here.
Wow, camping with a Forest Watcher is the way to go! They think of everything! And even—
This is true. I don't think I've ever had a single rough day in this forest.
So, how is everything?
Well, there's been some high points and low points.
I see. Oh, in that case, you should try a valberry. I bought some from the market this morning.
A valuable suggestion. Just don't bury your feelings using food.
All I wanted was to recommend something bittersweet.
Oh, I have a sudden craving for fruit tea. I'm gonna go fetch some stuff. Bye!
She sure made a run for it.
Unbelievable. She made—
So Kale chose the path of tactical retreat. Could it be she foresaw My dear friend, you know what I am about to say. Oh, drat. I flat out... But this isn't over. It's only a matter of time before I...
Ugh, this guy.
I'll reel it in.
Firewood, spices, snacks, and drinks.
Pauline est toujours pas là, c'est bizarre.
There are 3 tents. Which one do you two want to take?
How about the one on the left? Well, Paimon just thinks the ambiance.
True. But it's also the closest to the water. If there are any sleepwalking fungi around tonight, they might stumble into your tent.
Well, that's no good. Take my weapon.
Anyone would think you were sealing the gates to King Deshret's mausoleum.
Excellent. Then this tent will be an impenetrable fortress.
I'm back! How's your appetites? Ready for the barbecue? Always.
Toujours.
Oh, it smells so good.
Someone sure is desperate to eat. I think it's time to add the seasoning. How do you like your skewers?
Wait, what? Isn't that just for steaks? Hey, if it works for steak, maybe it works for other things too.
Medium well for me.
Okay, these are about ready now then. It'll be a few more minutes for anyone who wants theirs well done.
Oh, that was so delicious. If Paimon's stomach had... I ate a lot too.
If you're tired, then go rest.
You must be getting sleepy too, Paimon. Why don't you guys head to your tents? Cyno...
Tonight I show you mercy. Our sacred duel will...
Paimon's struggling to keep her eyes open.
Oh, don't forget this. The staff of the Scarlet Sands.
Wait, you were actually being serious about that?
It's a very powerful weapon.
Paimon can't even lift that thing.
Fair enough. You sure you don't want it?
Yeah, Paimon's sure. We'll be fine. And
That reminds me of a parting king of invocations. But right now,
Ta
it's
vieille
time to
épée toute
rest.
moisie là.
Sleep well and
Quand
sweet
est-ce qu'elle aura
dreams.
enfin une belle épée?
I think they should all be here. Traveler? Paimon? Are you in there?
Look at this.
What the? What's this sword doing here? Is it supposed to keep out it?
Evidently.
Huh? Who is it? Paimon's gonna take out the sword. Yeah! Oh, hey them, Kave! What are you doing here?
Sorry to wake you up at this hour of the night, but we've got a situation on.
Let's get dressed and talk about it outside.
Something has come up. And since it pertains to Cyrus and Cyno, I deemed it essential to inform you all.
Whoa, back up. Let's start from the beginning.
Comment ils nous ont retrouvés en fait? Il était pas là quand on a dit qu'on allait camper.
Huh? Where'd the wine cups go? I could have sworn I left them here after I washed them. Ah, there they are.
I'll have a cup too.
Can you see if the cookies are still on the table?
They are. And
Oh, this is so bland. I should have gotten a few bottles of what Cyno's group was drinking last night.
do tell. What were
Oh, right, I forgot to mention. So, I ran into Cyrus yesterday evening when I went to the tavern to pick up some. Anyway, they got a bottle of Lombard's new vintage for the table. At least, I think that's what it was. It looked pretty good.
Sounds like they're all tank.
You know what it's about, right? 16-year-old kid tried to extort Cyrus.
I heard some people talking about it on the streets, yes. Didn't take them long to catch the culprit. The sages are probably dealing with the case.
I wonder what Sir Nephis and the others will make of it. Oh, Cyrus showed me the extortion letter, too. It was crudely written, but the paper had this beautiful pattern on it that I've never seen. Give me a sec, I'll sketch it out for you. Okay, done. Take a look. You see what I mean? I don't think I've ever seen writing paper like this around before. God knows where the culprit got it from.
Interesting. These are all motifs associated with the tribes of the desert.
What?
Take this, for instance. Looks like an outline of a spire, similar to the kind found on some ancient palaces. It bears a striking resemblance to an ancient emblem, one that hasn't been used.
Whose emblem is it?
It's the emblem of the Temple of Silence.
Temple of Silence.
After discussing it with each other, we both agreed that something didn't feel right, so we went looking for you. This was a long way to come from the city. Alhaitham figured you were probably with Tainari, so Gandharvaville was our first stop. But then, just as we were heading off to the campsite, we ran into Cyno. He said he was on a supply run. We exchanged a few words, and then he ran off.
Hold on. So what's the deal with that emblem you were talking about?
Is everything okay? Give me a second.
So you've never heard of the Temple of Silence? Well, to put it simply, these days, you can find a Temple of Silence office in the academia. Theoretically, it's responsible for the custody and disposal of information and documents not fit for public dissemination. At least, that's what they tell the outside world. In truth, it's essentially a vestigial institution now. Historically speaking, the original Temple of Silence is said to have been established by Hermanubis, one of the 7 pillars of King Deshret and the greatest of all sages. Most of the organization's members, by contrast, none of the Academia Temple's current members are from the desert region, nor
So the Temple of Silence at the Academia is just a fake?
It's possible. The real question is, why? My guess.
So how do you know all this?
Did you forget? He did a stint as acting Grand Sage, and kept the pay raise even after he resigned.
Oh yeah! Paimon did totally forget about that.
If you're asking me whether I familiarized myself with the documentation in my office, I would respond that that's a perfectly normal part of any job.
So much about this doesn't make sense. Why did the emblem of the Temple of Silence, the student's only 16, and doesn't have any family ties to the
You said you ran into Cyno, yes?
Yep. He ran off as soon as he heard what we said.
Given that Cyrus is involved, he's probably halfway. Still, we should try to catch up with him. At this hour of the.
If the Academia's Temple of Silence really does exist just to cover up the truth, the sudden appearance of this emblem can't. We should pay a visit.
Yes. As the Sage of Amorta, my master ought to know the truth about their office. You can ask him to tell you what he knows. The more
If this situation is connected to the real Temple of Silence, the emblem has to be part of a big...
Kale, could I trouble you to send a message to the Core of 30? Tell them to keep an eye out for Traveler, Paimon.
Sounds like a plan.
Cyrus has been living in the city lately. He rented a place near the field, so... Here we are. This is the place.
We might be too late. Looks like nobody's home. Oh, Cyno moves fast. If he was here, he's probably long gone by...
I know that voice. Is that Tainari I hear?
Ah! Professor Zahahadi!
Wow, so it really is you. My goodness.
We're looking for Cyno.
Yes, not long ago, in fact. He knocked on my door. I told him the old fool left early this morning, and I hadn't heard him come back. So we went to his place. It must have alarmed Cyno, because he took off in an awful hurry after that. He never did explain.
Well, if Cyrus isn't at home...
Professor, did you hear that a student recently tried to
Why, yes. When I left the house that day, I noticed he was watering his flowers in the field in complete silence. He had a piece of paper clutched in his hand, and I could tell something was troubling him, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. If Cyno hadn't happened to visit him that day, he'd probably still be holding on to that thing. After seeing the letter, Cyno told him to contact the Core of 30, but Cyrus was very reluctant.
Huh? Cyrus didn't want to report it? Well, that's strange. When we saw him, he seemed pretty okay with the idea of the kid getting his just...
As a former sage, it's possible Cyrus still has enemies at the Academia. That's why Cyno was so insistent that he report the matter to the authorities.
So Cyrus initially hoped to stop this from going public. But what?
dear. What on earth has that old fool gotten himself wrapped? Oh, I almost forgot. Cyno left me this letter to pass on to you. He wrote it.
Thank you.
What does it say? Let Paimon take a look. My friends,
Yep, that sounds like Cyno. Thank you, Professor. Please do not worry. We will do all we can to protect both Cyno and Cyrus. Traveler, Paimon, let's head to the...
Non. Hop.
Take it easy.
You're here? I thought you were going after... Ah, I guess you lost their trail.
We went to Cyrus's house. No one was there. Cyno got there before us, but he...
He didn't say where he was going?
no. He left us a letter and told...
Can't say I'm surprised.
Typical Cyno. Anyway, some updates on progress on our end. I drew the emblem from memory again, but in more detail this time.
I checked some ancient texts for a similar design. The one I found was a little blurry, but the similarities in the...
Yeah, and we're lucky we found anything at all. It turns out the emblem was all but lost to history.
Meanwhile, Arov managed to get Uraka to disclose his source. The one who told him about Cyrus's embezzled funds was a young man from the desert. According to Uraka, he had a striking presence and was well educated.
Apparently, the two met in the tavern over a game of cards. The guy claimed to be in the city for business, as part of a merchant. Uraka was intrigued when he heard what his new acquaintance had to say, and brought up the idea of extorting Cyrus for Mora. The guy
I see. So it could be that this person planted the paper intentionally.
So, how do we find this guy?
He doesn't know. He claims not to have seen him since that day in the tavern. The man gave him some tips on how to carry out the extortion, but from then on...
Nephis and Arov have gone to meet the Court of 30 and review the city's entry and exit records. Also, Nephis admitted that the Temple of Silence and the true Temple of Silence once came to the rainforest to establish a collaboration with the academia. But, as time went by, the Temple of Silence felt that they could no longer trust the academia and ended the partnership. Ever since its inception, the Temple of Silence has been the guardians of King Deshret's civilization and belief system. They traveled at its roots. It was a legitimate and...
The academia of the day knew that the split would damage their...
Not only that, but they...
So how did Cyrus become acquainted with the true Temple of Silence if they left...
I'll bet that's the question that bothered Cyno. Probably why he went after him.
Whoever is behind this, getting Uraka to extort Cyrus was only...
He must have recognized it right away. That'll be why he didn't want to involve the authorities. He probably hoped to take care of the whole thing.
Since the desert is where the Temple of Silence originated, that is an...
I have to go after him.
Really? Are you sure that's a good idea, with how you respond to the heat? Why don't we send someone else?
I should be fine, as long as I bring plenty of water. Besides, I just can't shake this off.
Everyone, I have news from the Core of 30.
Master!
Oh, so that's Nephis, Tainari's master?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Traveler and Paimon.
Les lunettes.
Several independent eyewitnesses have reported seeing Cyrus and Mahamatra Cyno leaving the city at different times. Both were heading in the direction of Caravan Rebot. I was going to suggest that you join forces with the Corps of 30 in this case. However, the Academia has made a number of decisions throughout history that I am ashamed to talk about. I won't attempt to make you understand the Academia's perspective.
I understand where you're coming from, Master. But
Good point. If Cyrus is involved... everyone, we have to get Cyrus and...
Need our help? Whatever you need, we...
Really? Wonderful. Arav and I will continue to follow up on the lead from Uraka. Kaveh, Scribe Al-Haytham, I'd like Tainari. You're planning to go...
I am. Kaveh, I'll be okay. You stay behind.
Well, if you're sure.
Thank you all. Arav, let's go.
You'd better get moving. Don't forget to ask for help.
Will do. Let's go, Tainari. Hopefully we can catch up with...
Knowing him, he's probably covered a fair distance.
Allez, caravane. Hop, hop.
Okay, we made it to Caravan Rebot. Where should we go next? Maybe we should ask the near...
Hold on. Look up.
Is that Dia?
You sure you want to brave the desert alone? I mean, it's your choice.
It's not my first time. I'll be fine.
Cyno.
If you're really going to go through with this, then at least take our advice. When you're packing for your trip, budget for fun.
Makes sense. Okay.
Thought we might find you here. You're trying to retrace Cyrus's steps, aren't you?
Didn't I tell you not to come after me? I thought I had a good lead.
Well, sorry, but we never agreed to that. Why would you go off on your own like this?
Nothing personal. It's just...
Takes a special kind of person to get Cyno chasing them all the way out to Caravan Rebot. But why so coy today, huh? You only gave us his age and description. Why can't you reveal his name? Is he Sumeru's most wanted or something? Oh, also, hey guys, it's been a while.
Dia and Candace! So nice to see.
You're looking well. Glad to see it. Candace and I came to Caravan Rebot on business. We ran into Cyno as he was asking about some people say they saw him. Guess he stood out as an older guy heading into the desert alone with just a sumpter beast in tow and very few supplies. That's gotta be one heck of a story there.
Cyno, it's okay if you can't tell us anything about the case. But let us know how we can support you. We're here to help however you need. The more people we have working on this, the quicker we'll be able to find the person you seek.
No, it's not that simple. If I'm right, he'll be doing...
We spoke with Zaha Hadid. From what she said, it's pretty clear that he wants to try and solve this on his own. It won't be easy trying to find him in the desert when he's deliberately trying to cover his tracks.
Sounds like this is far more complex than we imagined.
Still, if he started from Caravan Rebot, the chances are that his route took him past our village. You may as well ask...
My thanks to you both.
Ah, come on. No need to get all serious. Just buy a round of drinks next...
That's a deal.
All right, so...
Yes, we'll handle it from here.
All right, then we'll leave you to it. Just remember, if you change your...
And don't think you'd be imposing. You can depend on us.
Don't worry, we'll keep him out of trouble.
La quête fleur sur les sables. Fleur sur les sables. C'est ça de pas avoir fait les quêtes à Sumeru.
Take it easy.
Oh, faut que je remonte. Bon, que ça a déclenché la quête.
Hold on. There's a few things I'd like to clear up. So, after you left the campsite...
Clearly, we've only scratched the surface of the Temple of Silence question.
Do you have any connection with the...
I do. I trust you're all aware of the spirit that gives me my power. Hermanubis, the original founder of the Temple of Silence. Due to my unique constitution, I was put through a number of trials in the desert when I was younger. Later, I met the professor, but my memory of that time is hazy. It's a good thing that Kaveh noticed the emblem on the letter. Without that, I don't know if we would have connected the dots and realized that I did not recognize that symbol at all. Whether that's because I've never seen it, or because my memory fails me.
Yeah, you're right. Thank goodness for Kaveh, and for Al-Haytham's diligence during...
But Cyrus must have recognized it right away, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have had any qualms about you reporting it. Oh, maybe his connection to the Temple of Silence goes even deeper than you...
I suspect so too. Professor has never once mentioned the Temple of Silence in conversation. And whenever the conversation turns to Hermanubis and the concept of spirit...
Well, speaking of avoiding things, you do realize, don't you, now that we've caught up with you, you're stuck with us for the rest of the way.
I am, or rather, I don't see how I could manage to ditch you.
That's right. Fact is, we're coming with you whether...
Fair enough. Then at least let me buy you a drink.
Works for me. All right, off we go. Let's start by seeing what the guards...
Hello.
Mahamatra Cyno?
I'm looking for someone. So I'd like to confirm...
A man matching that description passed by Aru village not too long ago. He stopped by to load up on food and water and feed his...
Where was he going?
Let me think. He took a seat by the entrance of the village for a while, and had a brief chat with the person who came to deliver the water. Do you have a map? I can mark out the direction he was heading in the best route.
I have one.
Great. There you go.
Thank you so much. You were a great help.
You've got a really good memory.
Ah, you're quite welcome. Best of luck. I hope you find him soon.
Oh, c'est loin. C'est à côté de l'hypostase d'Andron. Ah, fais chier, j'ai plus de truc. Il y a les tentes.
This blinding sunlight is such a pain.
Hold on.
Do you think it's safe to ask them?
Should be. I'll go.
No. I'll do it.
Huh? Why can't Cyno go talk?
Given my background, appearance, and the way I dress, I might not be the most welcome.
Ah, hello there. I hope I'm not interrupting. My friend and I are looking f-
Oh, a missing person, huh? Sure. What do you want to know?
I'm just wondering if you've seen him. Let me give you the detail.
So, a silver-haired guy in a long robe, culture type with thoughtful eyes, and he's traveling alone.
He'd stand out like a sore thumb around here.
Yeah, sounds like the kind of guy we'd remember if we saw him.
He's looking behind me.
Uh-oh.
Your friend over there stands out a lot, too. Hey, aren't you Cyno?
Yes, that's me.
You don't seem surprised that I recognize
It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh, you're the one looking for the old man.
I have a bad feeling about this guy.
Someone's on edge. You don't trust me much, do you? No need to hide it. I understand why you're wary of us.
I thought you were a group of merchants. Seems I was mistaken.
Your henchmen don't look like much, but something tells me they put up a better fight than most mercenaries.
Hey, hear that, guys? Hear my hint?
Suits me, as long as I get paid for it.
Just cut to the chase already.
All right, come with me. All of you. Don't you want to find your friend? Silver-haired, long robe, culture type with thoughtful eyes?
So you know where he is?
Just follow me.
C'est tous.
And here.
What? Where are you looking? There's nothing here.
Please step back.
Ooh, something's coming out of the ground!
What is this enormous building doing here?
And how was it so well hidden? King Deshret's technology?
Wait, so... Hold on.
Is this the Temple of Silence?
All good questions. There'll be plenty of time to address.
This is not what Paimon was expecting to find in the desert, especially not hidden right next to an oasis. Oh, Paimon's scared. They must have kidnapped Cyrus. Do you think this is...
What's wrong? Thinking about your professor?
I just hope for your sake you haven't done anything.
Well, me too. Hope I haven't done anything to incur your wrath.
Take it easy.
Bibliothèque.
All right. You can wait here for now. I'll inform our leader that you've arrived at the Temple of Silence. Sit tight.
So he's just gonna leave us here unattended?
They can't have been at the Oasis by chance. They were waiting for us. Whoever the leader is...
So this is the Temple of Silence. After leaving the rainforest, they hit the...
Hey, look! That guy's coming back.
Don't worry. Someone will come and call for you soon.
What's your name?
Sorry, guess I was so... My name is Sethos. I'll be here if you need me, but I'm not planning on answering all of your questions. Other than that, you can occupy yourselves however you see fit.
So we're free to explore by our...
Yep. I mean, I'm not worried about... Cyrus is here. And unless I've misunderstood, you're all...
He's right.
Ok, y a pas de coffre, y a rien. C'est tous.
Hey, Sethos!
Sure. Although, I'm assuming by chat, you mean you have questions for me? I don't blame you. Anyone else would? Not often. The Temple of Silence is a place of quiet and solitude. We don't get too many visitors. Yes, that was me. Although, tricked is a stretch. He was asking everyone in the tavern about ways. He insisted that nothing was off the table, even if it broke the law. So, I told him that Cyrus had embezzled a large...
So you framed Cyrus for a crime that he did not...
No. That's not entirely true. Let me jog your memory. The letter just said that he had uncovered Cyrus's secret. It didn't say what secret that was. Of course. Raka was a great accomplice, really. Very cooperative with a little bit of wine in it. Did exactly what he was told. And not much of an original.
Why did Cyrus leave for the desert as soon as...
You'll have to ask him that one yourself. Certain things I can't answer for him. I'm neither judging nor... All you need to know is that he recognized our emblem. And it was his own choice to take the bait. What kind of question is that? He's the...
Right, but back at the Oasis, you can't have known who he was for sure, or you wouldn't have asked him. So, what we're really asking is...
I've lived in the desert my whole life. Guess you could say...
Ugh, why does Paimon feel like this guy's not...
Come on, we've only just met. If I give you all the answers up front, you'll have nothing left to look forward to. Nope.
Really?
I have no need to go there. Not when the taverns are full of the Urakas of this world. Besides, we're well aware... Spies? It's not as clandestine as that. The city gates are wide open. Mm-hmm.
Il est louche. Moi je pense qu'il faut qu'on tue.
I never imagined that the true Temple of Silence would be hidden somewhere like this. We've passed through these parts before, but...
That's King Deshret's technology for you, I guess. It borders on the miraculous.
We should be wary of our hosts. Still, at this...
Here.
C'est le professeur, le chef.
The person you wish to see is here.
Well done, Sethos.
Oh non.
Greetings, one and all. I am Ba Moon, the current leader of the Temple of Silence. I know...
Professor!
Cyrus, are you okay?
Watch what you're doing!
Oh, my apologies. We have no intention of causing you distress. But you must understand, Cyrus is of great importance to us. Cyrus owes me his life, and to the Temple of Silence, he owes a debt of gratitude. I let him go alone.
I wanted to end my feud with this old bag of bones before you caught up with me. But you got here so quickly. Just leave, Cyno. This is a matter between us two old men. You're all too young to get involved.
So that's why you didn't want to report the letter. You'd made up your mind to come here from the beginning. You only left in such a hurry to try and throw us off your...
Some things in life catch up with you, no matter what you do.
Cyno didn't make us do anything. We came here for the same reason he did. To rescue you. We'd appreciate...
My secrets are secret for good reason. Bringing them to light can...
You're afraid, aren't you? You can't bring yourself to speak of your past deeds to the student. You recognized our emblem because for many years, you lived among us. Indeed, you all but became... You knew as soon as you saw the letter that we, not Uraka, were the ones speaking to you. It threatened you only because you know what you did. Your own guilt convicted you. For you, Cyrus, are a traitor. You once shared your learning with us, and joined us in our mission to revive the might of Hermanubis, to bring new hope, new opportunity. But then you betrayed us. You bargained for your independence with your past contributions. And then you left, taking with you Hermanubis' might, and we both know what I said to you that day. That as the leader, I grant you permission to leave. But that one day, the sands of time will catch up with you. And when that day comes, you must pay the price you owe.
You really...
Hermanubis' might? And...
Does he mean you?
The moon is right. I came here... He rescued me from the brink of death once. Many years ago in the desert. When he learned that I was a scholar, he invited me to come here. It was a great, daring plan. Bamoon proposed that we implant bar fragments, shards of Hermanubis, into the bodies of suitable... many believers volunteered themselves for the experiment. But we soon discovered that the bodies of grown adults could not withstand Hermanubis'. One other child was identified as a suitable vessel, and his parents agreed to release him into our
For many years, the Temple of Silence had been in possession of 2 Ba fragments from Hermanubis. As remnants of his raw power, they were exceeding. The test subjects were sent into a room that had been prepared for the ceremony, and instructed to approach the Ba fragments. The original plan was for a 3-stage experiment: resonance, implantation, and recovery and observation. The resonance stage went quite smoothly. As the 2nd stage began, I realized a decision had to be made. Should we implant the fragments one at a time? This would allow us to monitor the results after the first round and adjust our plan accordingly. Or alternatively, we could... But as I was deliberating, both Ba fragments suddenly became active. They glowed with a light we had never seen before. I knew that if they were not implanted right away, they would disintegrate and be gone from the world for good. Our 2 vessels had both displayed great promise by successfully resonating with the fragments. Under the circumstances, to preserve our faith and our power, we implanted each of them with a single fragment.
Ultimately, I ended the experiment and left.
In recognition of your past contributions, I chose not to send someone to hunt down and kill you both. Your lives were spared, but I have paid a great price for you. I have always wanted to see you, Cyno. Losing you and your Ba fragment.
I see. So that's how I gained my power.
Look, in essence, I borrowed your bar fragment for a decade or so. And now you are seeking justice. If you want to take my life, then so be it. I'm an old man, but you cannot lift a finger against Cyno. He is the General Mahamatra. Your actions would be seen as...
I'm sure you don't remember anymore, dear Cyno, but you've met us all before. You were so young then, when we all gathered around and celebrated the revival. You and he, Sethos.
You'd like me to return my power?
As a follower of Hermanubis, I have allowed this power to remain in the rainforest for far too long. Now, it is...
That power is not yours to reclaim.
You are wrong. Cyno was chosen, but he was not the only one. My child, Sethos.
So those are your terms for freeing the professor?
Despise me all you want. My sins are my own. The Temple of Silence is an innocent party.
So what you're saying is, the power of one Ba fragment is not enough? You're asking me to return the one in my possession, so it can...
Divine power causes great suffering to those who wield it. How do you know?
He is no longer a small child. But regardless, this burden is ours to bear.
Both my heart and mind are telling me that what you are proposing is...
Don't listen to him, Cyno. That power is no more...
I know. But if this is a question of your freedom versus a fragment of power, then...
Sorry to interrupt, but in my view, there are a number of contentions here. Say that Cyno refuses to return his power, and you also refuse to release Cyrus. Then, we are at an impasse. I find it hard to believe that you're trying to gauge where we stand while keeping your remaining cards close to your chest. Well, my stance is...
Wait, those ears... So, we have a descendant of the Valukashuna in our midst. Splendid! Everything we have longed for, Hermanubis will provide. Perhaps this very day we...
Why is he coughing so much?
Moon, you...
Take our leader back to his room. Grandfather, I know what you... I don't like to drag out conversations, so I'll just... Had Cyrus not stopped the experiment all those years ago? The plan would most likely have been a success. The wisdom of Hermanubis would have been ours still. It's no use talking about what-ifs. I'm not like my grandfather. The Temple of Silence has a grand legacy and a sacred duty to fulfill. But I see things a little differently. I don't believe the temple has the same stature that it once did. Time has worn away, so I'm not going to force your hand. You're all free to leave. Except for Cyrus. My You
have courage and wise judgment, kid. Reminds me a lot of Bamoon. I truly wish that the temple would take an objective look at the academia of today. You've been to the city yourself, and things will only continue to improve. Why not consider cooperating?
If you hadn't betrayed my grandfather, I might well be open to persuasion.
Tainari made a good point earlier. He said there has to be all you and Bamoon are after is the Ba fragment. The professor will accept whatever fate you deem fit for him out of a sense of guilt. I am the one who has a choice to make. And that's how it was always. Ultimately, you want to trade the Ba fragment for the professor, correct?
I'm glad to see you're giving it some serious consideration.
I won't forsake my professor, nor do I intend to run from a problem that I must face sooner or later.
That works. Then I'll be waiting. Oh, my grandfather still has a fair few things he wants to say to us.
Are you sure about negotiating?
need to think this through. Everyone, let's meet again later.
All right, well, don't put too...
Attends.
Take it easy.
I've taken some time to reflect on this. If I had to guess, Professor Cyrus came to the desert knowing that he would He's a stubborn man who tends to double down when he feels strongly about something. We won't get anywhere.
I agree. My master Nephis says the same thing. What?
So that's one thing. You've heard all you need to hear about the Temple of Silence. So my own memories of this place are hazy, though. Probably something to do with the overpowering presence of the Ba fragments. I do remember having some fleeting moments of profound emotion when vague images would appear in my mind. I was still young then, and all I could understand was that there was a strong will inside my mind. I think the power that came to inhabit my spirit was probably one of the cornerstones of their whole faith. So if...
You're not gonna give in to their demands, are you? Surely there has to be another way!
No. I have no intention of returning it. I need this power to protect Sumeru. But the temple has the right to make the final decision over its fate, since it belongs to one of the 7... So I will challenge them head on, and win the right to wield this power myself, fair and square.
This reminds me of something Alhaitham mentioned to me just before we left. He said that the Temple of Silence was originally... Kaveh has made similar observations about the desert tribes from his work trips there. He says many of them have their own internal rules. They talk about the importance of never... I think we could turn that to our advantage.
Wow, and just like that...
Looks like we have the same idea. Turn it back on them now while we still can.
Great. And I know just how to start the conversation.
Ouais, c'est un donjon. Éphémère quoi, il va pas rester parce qu'il n'y a pas de coffre, il n'y a rien.
Take it easy.
Mais bordel. Je ne sais pas pourquoi ma touche déconne. EQ ça déconne, je sais pas pourquoi. Mais... C'est fou.
Sethos. Let's...
Have you made up your mind?
We'll get to that, but first, I have some degree of medical training, so I was wondering if you might...
I have no objections, although we do have our own doctors here. I doubt you'll...
Only one way...
Follow me. Keep your voices down. We don't want to...
Let's talk outside. Bamoon has fallen into a deep coma, and his prognosis is quite grave. He appears to have sustained a serious injury in his youth, which has been exacerbated over the years by the Regretfully, I must inform you that, based on what I've seen with patients in a similar condition, he doesn't have long left. A few days at most.
Yeah. I've known.
You're his heir, aren't you? You clearly have a lot of respect for the man. But you also see things differently. You have a broader range of concerns and a more pragmatic... So tell me how we can end this on your terms. Let's find a way to bring all this to a resolution while Bamoon is still alive to see it. That's what really matters to you.
Yeah, there's no time to waste here. You know that better than anyone.
You know, the two of you are actually in a very similar predicament right now. Both of...
Right. And you didn't create this situation. They did, but somehow...
You're right. We both look at this problem very differently. I accept, Cyno. This all began because of Hermanubis. Legend has it that when Hermanubis first arrived in Tuletula, he sparred with the city's residents. He and his two companions proved their mettle by fighting over several days, winning the support of many fine people. That group of supporters were some of the first members of the Temple of Silence, and the sparring matches were enshrined.
Sounds very fitting.
As a fellow vessel of Hermanubis, your ties to the Temple of...
3 against 3.
However, I have some additional terms. As the challengers, you must win all 3 of your fights to win. And Cyno, both of us must... Letting Cyrus leave with one of the Ba fragments was a mistake, made by my grandfather out of pity. It is a long-standing issue that must be addressed for the Temple of Silence to move forward. I can make...
None needed. We're on the same page. If I win, the Temple of Silence must release Cyrus. If you win, I'll return my power to...
It's a deal. Then let's meet at the ceremonial hall tomorrow.
Oh, faut qu'on attende.
Take it easy.
Well, after how that went, there's definitely no turning back now.
Tac, tac, tac.
There never was. Turning back hasn't been an option.
You have to win. You need this power.
Yeah, that's right. Besides...
Both as General Mahamut... Yeah, when you put it that way.
Exactly.
The Traveler and I will never...
And neither. The desert was home to an ancient and great civilization that for a variety of reasons... But there must be personal factors at work here too. I can't shake the feeling that Bamoon cares for many more things than he lets on. And I don't think that Sethos is any kind of villain. He's just doing what he thinks is best. Tomorrow.
Et c'est reparti. La salle des cérémonies.
We gather on this day to perform once more the rite of duels, with the greatest of all say this is our most sacred of ceremonies, and note representing the Temple of Silence.
Grandfather, you're here.
A rite of duels after all these years.
I know what I'm doing, Grandfather. Just leave it to me.
Representing the Academia, the Challengers.
Ready. We will fight to have our voices.
Warriors, take your We come not to debate what brings our challengers here.
Huh? Are you sure?
I agree. He's very strong. Sending him out for...
Okay, then you're...
Sure.
We have decided.
So have we.
Duelists of the first bout, please step forward.
Bon, j'espère qu'ils vont donner un voyage en TC parce que...
Safety first. Hey, you there! play nice with them, or Paimon will make you regret it.
Little bit too much chatter from the audience over there.
A swift end to the first bout. I know when you're both ready, you...
Let's begin.
Watch out!
He drank plenty of water before the bout, so he should be fine.
Yeah. Rah. Sia.
C'est fort Tignari en fait.
Thus ends the...
I'm ready.
So am I.
This is the final stage. When you're both ready.
I am Sethos, vessel of Hermanubis. For many years, we have kept our covenant with Lord Hermanubis by guarding the secrets of King Deshret. And even in our darkest hour, when we could not see a way forward, we chose not to abandon hope, but to embark on a brave new experiment so that we might prevail. We earnestly sought Lord Hermanubis' wisdom and power, longing to see his spirit. Now, I will fight to become the rightful wielder of that power!
I am Cyno, General Mahamatra of the Academia, student and successor of Cyrus, the Sage of Spontamod. I fight in defense of my power, my and you. I think you left some things unsaid. This is a sacred duel, and Hermanubis is watching.
Everyone, old and young. My grandfather is a wise leader. He is also known to be a ruler who is not afraid to get blood on his hands. But our faith has held us back for too long. After I grew up, I went to the rainforest once. Times have changed. The people of Sumeru are happier and more free now than in the past. I thought about this as I stood at one of the tallest points in this. Then I thought of you, Cyno. You and I both wield the same power. Yet the lives we lead. Each Ba fragment of Hermanubis stands for something different. Might. Glory. I once thought that the nature of our fragments must be what makes us so different from one another. But maybe...
I am more than just a warrior. I am my own person.
Exactly.
The name Hermanubis has left its mark on both of us. Shaped the course of our lives. So show me your answer, Cyno. Show me I can be more than my faith. Bring it on!
Bring it on. Non, on va pas jouer là. Chut la musique.
That's all you've got? What happened to searching for your answer?
crois qu'il se battait avec un arc.
Fight's over. Do you yield?
You won.
Well then, looks like you found your answer.
I give his glory to you.
I've seen that light. That is the light of our Lord, the great Hermanubis, priest over all other priests. His spirit dwells within that lightning, and his will lives on. Once a warrior of Tynar, he emerged from the barren desert sands to serve the god king Al-Ahmar. After the death of the god king, Hermanubis gathered his followers and the Tynarian priests and led them to the city of Tule-Tula. There, they founded the Temple of Silence, and from that day forth, we became stewards of all knowledge that survived from King Deshret's civilization. Barely a century passed before war ravaged the desert. One by one, Eremite leaders took up arms against each other in battles that would devour what little remained of their civilization. Only the wise city of Tule-Tula was spared under the guiding hand of the Tynarians. But peace did not last. Coveting the knowledge of King Deshret, the beasts set their eyes on Tule-Tula. The king of Gurabad laid siege to the city and ordered the sages to surrender to him the Temple of Silence as proof of his victory. The ruling elite colluded with their oppressors, betraying the temple so as to hold on to their rule over the city. They declared that the knowledge guarded by the temple was the true cause of corruption. These were dark days, and we faced enemies on all sides. Our Lord had long since exhausted his strength, keeping the forbidden knowledge introduced by King Deshret at bay. To ensure the temple's continued survival, he broke his being into many pieces and began the ceremony of Hermanubis' legacy, bestowing his power upon his mortal followers. With this power, the temple was able to defeat the tyrant's army. Yet, we were not hailed as heroes. Strange and unfamiliar as this power was, it struck fear into the people's hearts and drove them to reject us. In the end, the people of the temple and the Tule-Tula Tynarians left the city for good and made their way to the rainforest. What followed next was inevitable. The elite of Tule-Tula fell and were decimated. War engulfed the desert. And we wandered from place to place, always in hiding, all the while keeping close watch over our secrets and staying true to our mission. Betrayal forced us out of the desert and into the forest. Then mistrust drove us from the forest into the desert once more. We have lived in exile for far, far too long. Yet, today, the Temple of Silence has borne witness to the glory of Hermanubis once more. Thank you.
How is it? Do you feel okay?
Grandfather.
Hey, Sethos.
I know.
I guess you were prepared for this. It's been a long time coming, huh?
Yeah. He's been on death's door for a very long time now. At least, he was able to see this chapter come to a close.
What's next for you?
Per my grandfather's last wishes, the Temple of Silence should submit to whoever possesses the largest number of Hermanubis fragments.
But that's never going to work. As I'm sure you realize, I did foresee this possibility and I gave it some thought. The fact is, I know next to nothing about the staff, records, and environment here. As such, Sethos, I believe the honor, were it not for this duel, or indeed if you had other intentions, the Ba fragments would most likely be in your hands by now. I'm sure Bamoon never meant for anyone but you to be his successor.
You really think?
I do.
Still, I didn't think Bamoon looked very surprised by the final result. Perhaps he had an inkling.
Well, in any case, since the Ba fragments are with me now, I guess Sethos, I would like you to succeed Bamoon as the new leader of the Temple of Silence. You are more suited to the role than I.
But doesn't that render everything that we've been through up to now meaningless?
No, it doesn't. This experience has allowed us to become friends. That's a much bigger deal than you might think, Sethos. You said yourself, times have changed. You have to believe that things can change for the better here at the
I will try. To be honest, I can...
Actually, part of me wonders whether Bamoon's intentions from the very beginning was just to create enough pressure to force us towards a duel. That way, no matter who won, one of us would have to surrender our Ba fragment. And the power of... Had you won, the Temple of Silence would have doubled its strength. And were I to win, he correctly anticipated that I wouldn't suddenly drop everything to become the leader of the temple, much less integrate the temple into the academia by force. He knew that the temple's future would depend not just on the guidance of Hermanubis, but the support of the academia too. So he made it his responsibility. His plan meant that whoever ended up succeeding him, they would have an easier time interacting with the academia.
And here I thought the General Mahamatra wouldn't care for all these trivial details. You're absolutely right. Grandfather and I considered this from every angle. We had to find a way to mend our relationship with the academia. In that sense, the right... Thank you for everything, Cyno. As a gesture of our gratitude, to those that you and Lesser Lord Kusanali deem worthy, I will grant the honor of access to the Temple of Silence for their pursuit of knowledge. The Temple of Silence has a wealth of information on King Deshret's civilization. more than any other organization. But you must be exceedingly careful with your selection of candidates, lest you lead humanity to repeat the same. By the way, Tainari, my grandfather was so happy to see you. You are a descendant of the Veluca Shuna, and we are the heirs to the will of her. The story goes that King Deshret chose the sage Hermanubis from among the Tainarians and appointed him as his. He went on to fight many valiant battles with his The Tainarians who left Tule-Tula joined their human counterparts in the rainforest. A few centuries later, when some of the group returned to the desert, many of the, in all likelihood, those were your ancestors.
How fascinating. My father once mentioned that I was named after the Tainarians, but I never knew that my forebears had.
I like this story.
By the way, has anyone seen...
Yes. Cyrus. You'll probably find him in my grandfather's room. He wouldn't show it in front of me, but...
If it's true that you and your grandfather really planned for everything to turn out this way...
Who knows? Perhaps all of us. You, me, and Cyrus.
Someone's got to make the decisions when history is at a crossroads. I will make a detailed report on all of this to Lesser Lord Kusanali, and arrange for an official delegation from the academia to come and meet you in the desert. I'm sure you'll have lots to attend to in the days ahead. But once things return to normal, please come and visit the rainforest again. You should stay for a few days this time, and start to build some relationships. If we're going to work together, both sides have to get to know one another better.
I will. All right. Well...
See you soon. Come hang out with us anytime.
Raymond qui dit venez nous rendre visite. On n'a pas de maison. On n'est jamais à Sumeru. Retourner à l'académie. Ça va, en plus Sumeru c'est probablement l'endroit où j'ai moins passé de temps. Je pense que j'ai plus passé de temps à Mondstadt qui est tout petit qu'à Sumeru. Oh fuck, pourquoi je me suis tapé ici?
Take it easy.
Du coup... Moi j'ai toujours le truc.
What were you thinking gallivanting off into the desert alone at your age? What if you take the bucket, You told me—
Oh, please, will you stop your yelling?
What do you mean, what other choice? Do you mean to tell me that after all your years of learning, and sagehood no less, the only idea you could conjure up at a one-man suicide mission, That's the best idea that one of the—
All right, all right. Honestly, the way you're going off on me, it's like you wish you'd been there to lend him a hand.
I've got nothing more to say. What's the point of—
What do you mean, bag of bones? I'm a flesh and blood hero who, despite his old age, saved our General Okay, look. Fine, I admit it, I was in the wrong. How can I make it up to you?
1 month?
Inari's master is really laying into Cyrus. Let's give them a wide berth.
Professor brought this on himself. Don't pay any
Wow, I haven't seen Master get this. The last time he chewed someone out like this must have been back when I was still a student.
I think I'll go around and update everyone. Tell them the situation's resolved. We can go for dinner afterwards. My treat.
Makes sense. I'm in.
Hyman's coming too! Let's go!
Merde. Collet et Farouzan.
look who we have here. Would you mind explaining to me what has been going on this past few days? I heard you all ran.
All taken care of.
That does not answer my question. How could you be so careless? That goes for you as well. Yes, when you run into problems, you really ought to ask for help, you know? I've been around the block. Don't you think it would have made sense to involve me?
Now would not be a good time to attempt to argue with.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. It's not the first time that I've had to talk to you about this sort of thing either. You need to learn that there are times when the right thing to do is get a more experienced member of staff involved.
Kale, please do something.
He's giving me the signal. All right. Say, Madam Farazan, I can see you're pretty upset, but, I was just wondering.
Huh? Wait, did I hear that right? Kale, you remember? Wonderful. Well, of course
Poor Kale getting dragged off like that. Also, check out Farazan acting like some sort of a...
Kale! Cup.
Huh? What?
What do you mean, cup?
Oh, it's nothing. Just Master's way of reminding me to stay hydrated while I'm out and about.
It's code for let's reconvene at the cafe. Tainari and I used it while we were in school, and it's become something of a family tradition now.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
2 people left. Let's bring them along too.
Allez, Aita Mekave. Du coup, Aita met plus le grand sage par intérim. Il a laissé ses fonctions. On sait même pas c'est qui.
Take it easy.
Il y a KV. Ah, il y a Aita Mine là.
Am I hallucinating? Or do I see Kaveh and Al-Haytham engaged?
We're just reorganizing all the books we used. Look, there's a whole mountain of them.
There's no rush. Nobody reads these books anyway.
My sincere thanks to you both.
Yes, with your help, we resolved the issue rather swiftly and painlessly.
I see. The Temple of Silence resorted to rather unique means of self-preservation. It explains how they managed to remain hidden for—
And it sounds like they managed to preserve a whole load of ancient documents as well. I'd love to—
That day will come. The Temple of Silence is a hugely important organization, and we'll be sure to maintain good relations with them in the now as a token of my appreciation.
Yeah, sounds great. Although after the last few days, I don't know if I—
Sure.
And then, the Traveler just pounced on their opponent and knocked him right out cold! Then there was Tainari. He put up an amazing fight, too! We ended up winning all 3 bouts! Whoa! Part of me wishes I'd been there to see it, but...
a truly edifying account of the events. Bereft of detail.
Hey, Paimon included all the juicy details. The Traveler just pounced and then waved their sword like this, then spun around and blocked.
Despite winning 3 bouts in a row, you still ceded the position of leader to him. That's very dignified of you, Cyno.
Of course. Being dignified comes with being—
I got to be a champion too for once. I've not sparred much with desert folk before. It was a pretty unique experience.
Yeah! Huge place! It felt like something right out of an epic poem! Imagine Imagine this. It was like there was...
Maybe save that one for later, Paimon. Dessert's here.
I think that'll do me for today.
Shall we stop off at the House of Dana again before heading home? We should probably finish putting all those books.
My thoughts exactly. See you around.
I should get going as well. See you all later.
I need to go say thanks to the Core 30 for their help. Also, Sir Nephis says he wanted to introduce me to some of the Academia's work processes. So, I gotta do—
Kali's come a long way. She's much more confident at—
Everyone's a work in progress. You never stop learning.
Yeah, true.
That was good. It feels like everything's finally Life is all about these moments when you can finally relax and hang out with good friends after a job well done. And also—
Do you three have anything planned for the rest of the day? If not, would you come somewhere with me? That's a secret for now.
Okay. I think I can guess what you're talking about. It'll—
Well, now Paimon's curious!
Been a while since I last made my way up. Need any help?
It's a nice spot, isn't it?
What a great view! We're so high up, we can—
Traveler, turn around. This is my secret base. Somewhere I only bring my best friends. When I was a student, I used to slip away and climb up here all the time, just to clear my head. I was quite young then. Back then, I had a lot of the same questions that Zethos was asking. Who am I? Why do I have Our gifts help us to find our rightful place in the world. That was my experience. And I'm sure Zethos will—
You two really are like brothers.
I feel the same way. Of course. I see no need to—
I still remember one time when we came up here to chat and do our homework. Cyno accidentally dropped a fruit. Luckily, he has fast reflex.
That was the one and only time. Nothing will ever slip through my fingers.
Those were good times.
You know, Paimon really shouldn't be able to imagine Cyno doing something like that, but for some strange reason,
Then make it stop. There's somebody there. It's You guys carry on without me.
Okay.
Huh? Hey, you're not supposed to jump.
Oh my days. I can't believe how stupid
Professor, what?
Cyno. Ha, just the man I'm looking for. Guess what I found?
Some old photos?
Can you believe it? This notebook was just sitting in a pile of odds and ends in the Sage's office. I must have forgotten to take it with me. I was at the Academia earlier to discuss my workload with Nephis. Oh, time flies. Look how tiny you are in this.
You look quite young yourself in that one. Ah, it's this one. I remember that.
Yep. Looks like her work, all right. Who else could have found just the right angle to make me look so unbelievably hideous?
And this one. Looks like we're...
Oh, cheeky girl. Taking secret photos.
Is there something you'd like to say to me, Professor?
Like what? Like, these are... Hey, At moments like this, I can't pretend I'm a good person. But Moon had every reason to despise me. And well, so do you.
Don't be ridiculous.
Is that not what you wanted me to say? Oh, I've dreamt of that place many times after leaving the desert. Sometimes I've dreamed that I was doing... Oh, it was... one of the... You've matured so much over the years, Cyno.
Since you're my professor, I should save you some face by not calling you out on all the non-answers you just gave. So, I will do the right thing and keep my mouth.
Good thinking. Take your own advice now. Seriously, why bully an old man like me? I thought heroes... Hey, wait, how did I not notice this one earlier?
Lisa strikes again.
Look how cute you were when you were little. I remember how well...
Yeah, and look how serious and professional you used to be.
Oh, I can't compete with you anymore. First you get better than me at the deadpan jokes, and now you're besting me at those little quips too.
Don't say that.
That's more like it. Hey, what would you say to meeting up?
I'd like that. Let's find a time and pay her a visit in Monster.
All right, I'll add it to my schedule. Let's go next week. Wait, no. Next week is the tomato growing competition.
Concours de la meilleure tomate.
I've got to beat Zaha Hadi.
Or you could find a real hobby, Professor.
Ok. Bah c'est fini. Bah c'était très cool. Surtout la cinématique de fin là, elle était géniale. Ça m'a donné pas mal de primo cette histoire. Ah mais il y a l'event aussi. Donc j'ai... non pas 61. 57. Alors j'ai pull Shiori avant d'avoir pull Hacheron. Là j'ai 57 vœux, sur Honkai j'en ai 90. Voilà. Donc ici j'attends Navia. Sur Honkai j'attends Wobo. Puis un rerun des persos que j'ai. Je peux pas voir quand est-ce que je l'ai eu chez moi. Il marque son anniversaire mais il marque pas la date d'obtention. C'est dommage. Je voulais voir, tiens, Ayaka. Constellation, il donne quoi? Les attaques normales chargées d'Ayaka. Ah, salut Failis. Dans les archives que je vais regarder. On peut voir un coup les constellations d'Ayaka. Archive. Ah ouais, le 15-3. Tu vois, je l'ai pour le 15-3. Un mois avant Hacheron. Du coup, j'ai 30 vœux en moins. Bon après il faut dire... Enfin si, j'ai quand même pas mal exploré la mer d'antan, tout ça. Hop là. Ouais. On sait quoi, je crois qu'il y a Al-Aitam qui arrive bientôt. Je voulais pull son arme pour mettre sur Ayaka, mais... Je crois que je préfère attendre pour Navia. Alors... Tac, les sauts. Là j'ai passé. Je crois il en faut... Je crois c'est 40. Au dernier niveau? Ah, je parle des hydroculus. À 40. Ouais, c'est 35 sauts hydro pour la fontaine. C'est pareil, il m'en manque plus énormément. Il manque 4 niveaux, je crois. Niveau 46. Non, c'est 30. Il manque 120 sauts pour finir le... Pour finir la fontaine. 35. 35 c'est à... Du coup 35 c'est à Sumeru. C'est à l'arbre des rêves 35. Et le cerisier, c'est 25, je crois. Il n'a pas un qui est pareil aussi. C'est pareil, dans ce que je veux faire, c'est bien avoir tous les planeurs. Enfin, tous les planeurs tenables. Il me manque lui. La réputation à Sumeru. Puis l'arbre permagelé. Ouais, juste obtenable en free to play. Parce que ouais, cependant les events là entre guillemets, fallait les payer en plus. Genre celui KFC ou je sais pas quoi. Bon après avec ce qu'il y a là c'est déjà pas mal. Entrer dans la boutique. C'est con que c'est pas comme sur Honkai quoi. Les persos ils sont pas là. Genre là dans la boutique de Shiori, il y aurait Shiori, serait logique. Tu vas à la bibliothèque à mon stade, il n'y a même pas... comment c'est? Lisa. C'est quoi ça? Ah oui, c'est pour les cartes. C'est pareil, les cartes spirituelles, il me reste plus beaucoup à trouver, il me semble. Mais ça donne plus grand chose d'intéressant. 2 jours pour ça. Ouais. Bon, je vais arrêter là. Tac. On aura fait tout ce qui restait à faire sur Genshin en un stream. Je pensais que l'event serait un peu plus long que ça, mais ça a été vite. Tac. Bon, du coup, je vais me faire à manger. J'ai faim. Tac. Je vous mets le lien du Twitter pour être averti des lives. Et puis du YouTube hein, pour toutes les rediffusions. Tout ce que j'ai fait sur Genshin, sur Honkai, tout est sur YouTube. Et puis je vous dis à peut-être demain, c'est pas sûr. Alors là, ce sera un petit stream. Donc ouais. Sur ce, passez une bonne journée, puis je vous dis à peut-être demain. Ciao ciao.